Let's dive right into today's explainer. Picture this. It's 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. A crisis management team has just rushed into a conference room. Sitting around that table are highly competent, experienced leaders. Right in front of them are precise, incredibly detailed reports fresh off the printer. And yet, despite all that talent and all that data, they completely lack a stable operational picture. They are effectively flying blind while staring right at their instruments. Right in the middle of this chaos sits one essential, unanswered question. Which medicine deliveries are genuinely at risk? Now, it sounds like a totally simple query, doesn't it? But this actually highlights the central paradox of our case study today, featuring a fictional European company called Nexora Health Logistics. During their critical meeting, literally no one can give a stable answer to this one fundamental question. And that leads us to a really fascinating and frankly dangerous dynamic. Nexora Health Logistics is not short on information. In fact, they are completely drowning in it. But they're losing something far more important, and that is a shared reality. It's a super common crisis paradox. We tend to think that more data automatically equals better decisions. But in a high-pressure incident, as the sheer volume of information increases, a team's shared reality and collective understanding can actually take a nosedive. So, here is how we are going to break this all down today. First, the crisis paradox. Second, the Nexora situation. Third, disconnected perspectives. Fourth, fading connections. Fifth, desynchronized realities. And finally, number 6, restoring a shared reality. Okay, starting with part 1, the crisis paradox, accumulating facts versus building reality. We really need to look closely at this dangerous gap between just gathering facts and actually building a reliable reality. Because having perfectly accurate reports absolutely does not guarantee you have a unified operational picture. I mean, imagine this. There are 6 completely distinct, precise reports sitting on that crisis room table. 6 of them. Every single one is full of accurate facts. Yet the executives are totally paralyzed. Why? Well, because these facts exist in completely isolated silos. They've got accumulation for sure, but they have zero understanding. Let's move to part 2, the Nexora situation, Monday morning chaos. To really grasp how this happens, let's ground this whole theoretical framework in a tangible, high-stakes scenario and trace the timeline of this chaos. So at 6:40 a.m., Nexora detects unusual activity in its identity environment. Just as a precaution, a few accounts are suspended. Fast forward a bit to 7:30 a.m., and the Enterprise Resource Planning System, the ERP, starts flickering. It's intermittently available. At the exact same time, warehouse management systems at 2 different logistics hubs become totally unstable, and suddenly, crucial electronic data interchanges with hospitals just can't be trusted. So by the time the crisis management team finally convenes at 9 a.m., the entire system is in absolute gridlock. Which brings us to part 3, accurate yet disconnected perspectives, local truths in silos. Now, the company isn't completely blind here. They actually have plenty of visibility. But what they have are accurate yet entirely disconnected perspectives. They are local truths trapped in silos. Think about the stark contrast between these fragmented views of the exact same crisis. IT is laser-focused on application availability and recovery. The CISO, they're assessing compromise and propagation risk. Operations is looking at the physical world, pallets, routes, and teams. Quality is incredibly busy checking released batches and temperature compliance evidence. And meanwhile, the executives are looking at customer commitments, liability, and reputation. Now, none of these views is wrong, but none of them alone is enough to explain what Nexora is genuinely capable of delivering right now. The absolute crucial takeaway here is this. Information does not equal understanding, and understanding does not equal a decision. Take this, for example. Just because IT proudly announces, hey, the Milan warehouse system is back up and running, that doesn't mean a truck can actually leave. The physical stock might be sitting right there, but if the quality department is missing the digital temperature evidence because of the outage, that medicine is not going anywhere. The local truth of IT just doesn't translate to the global reality of the business. Moving into part 4, the disappearance of connections, data volume versus value creation. Under the immense, crushing pressure of a crisis, organizations will naturally beg for more figures, more summaries, more situation reports. But here's the catch. This sheer data volume actually obscures value creation. As the reports pile higher and higher, the underlying connections between the systems, the batches, the validations, and the deliveries, they just vanish.
Dashboards fill up with totally disconnected data. Statuses are constantly shifting between green, amber, and red. It's literally like a strobe light effect of confusion. And all those critical insights, they remain trapped in highly functional, departmental jargon. The team is accumulating all these local truths, but failing to answer the only question that actually matters. Which value-creating capabilities are preserved, which are degraded, and which are completely interrupted?
That leads us right into part 5, desynchronized realities over time, the decay of facts. So, in a dynamic crisis, facts decay fast. A consolidated report becomes obsolete almost the exact moment it's printed. The mere passage of time actively shreds any shared reality. On one hand, you have report consolidation, a process that can take hours. But on the other hand, you have reality altered. While headquarters is spending hours building this beautiful, pristine dashboard, a logistics hub has already just adopted a manual workaround. A priority order has shown up through an alternative channel. Brand new doubts have emerged about the integrity of a key dataset. You could have two leaders looking at the exact same dashboard, discussing the exact same site, but because one is relying on stale data, their shared reality is completely desynchronized. They are trying to make trade-offs using representations that diverged hours ago. Finally, part 6, restoring a shared reality, executive discipline. We have seen the chaos, so how on earth do we fix this? Well, restoring a shared reality requires immense executive discipline. And spoiler alert, Nexora is not going to recover a shared reality by simply asking for a 7th report. No way. This discipline requires a strict, actionable checklist. Before anyone requests yet another dashboard, the team has to apply these 5 essential questions to every single critical piece of information. Step 1, what exactly does it describe? Step 2, when was it observed? Step 3, what scope does it cover? Step 4, how much confidence can we genuinely place in it? And crucially, step 5, which operational capability or commitment does it actually help us assess? These 5 questions are exactly what stop an organization from confusing accumulation with actual understanding. But to really anchor these 5 questions, you need a solid framework. Within the Ransom-Kick Resilience Model, the Business Impact Analysis, or BIA, acts as this vital organizing master reference. When conditions start to deteriorate, the BIA is what translates those precise but isolated technical signals back into a shared logic. It maps out the dependencies, it maps out the impacts. It's the ultimate tool that turns a technically precise but otherwise useless status update into real, actionable decision visibility for the executive team.
I want to leave you all with this really powerful thought. Collective understanding is not some automatic byproduct of information flow. It just isn't. It is an operational capability. A shared reality must be structured, qualified, and governed. So take a second to reflect on your own crisis dashboards. Are you just tracking facts, or are you tracking value creation? In our next explainer, we are going to tease this apart even further. We'll look at how a bunch of reports can be entirely accurate locally, but still produce a completely false synthesis globally. Until then, ask yourself this. When the screens in your office start blinking red, will your team share a reality, or will they just share a room?